That should make us live. So there we go. Live and in action. So let's see. Hey Jamie, welcome to the stream. So I have no idea where I left this project in particular, but this is a continuation of the project where I was doing some work with WX widgets to, let's see, where I was using WX widgets to just do some basic native UI. And then I started screwing around with the fact that there is a really cool code editor UI that you can actually build with. I need sleep. So I think that's where I left this project. Apparently I have some kind of error where I last left off. Oh yeah. I don't know what I was up to here specifically, so let's just comment that out and I can show you where we're starting. So what I want to try to do today is to build some parts of live collaboration. So think of Google Docs. Okay, so here's the editor. It's not very pretty right now. I don't have any sizing controls or anything. So this was the old thing. You could enter some text, you could hit the button, and the button would rename to whatever the text was. That's this is all built into Erlang, and so this is all using the UI library that's built into Erlang and OTP. WX, as it's called. I think you should be getting a higher quality than 144p. That seems weird. Let me take a look. It could be that there are some issues on the YouTube side. You should be able to crank it to 1440p at the very least. YouTube seems to be complaining a little bit at me. So I'll just take a look. All right, good. YouTube has been warning me that I'm sending the wrong resolution every time I stream, but it seems fine. So yeah, well, maybe it's just some settings I'm not doing right. But I'm glad it's viewable. Let me know if the audio volume is okay, because I have recently switched out my microphone, so there are some differences there. But okay, so this this weird white part here. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it's sounding good. This weird white section here is a code editor. So if I write foo, blah, hey, that's actually a code window, and I could hook in things like syntax highlighting and yeah. Need Sleep was referencing the fact that in some of my videos, birds are audible because there are birds that are encroaching on my garage/office. So now we're not getting any outputs here. So let's actually inspect some of this. Let's do text length position. That's typically the information I want. We could also add insert because that's an insert. And this should be a delete. And this means that it's something else. Okay. So I'm listening to messages, and let me tell you, WX styled text STC modified is not the single most easy message to work with, but it works. Okay, so restart the app. So now if I write FOO, actually I should probably raise my, oh, that's a bit much. Still, I should probably just resize my terminal font a little bit. There's the number. I just want to change the size of thing. Something like that. Not necessarily more readable, but okay. Well, I can get it to print that. Let me do a horizontal split. I think that's more manageable. There we go. So I can detect whenever a character is written. So, and if I write foo, copy it and paste it, I'll get multiple characters at once. So I get these events that I can use to gather and sort of construct edit operations. So this is a thing with, if you've ever looked at operational transformation, which is a neat little thing where we're essentially, so Google Docs style editing, where multiple people can edit the same document at the same time, requires you to be, without it being super slow and asking the server every time, that requires a way of encoding and capturing your edits in a way that can be merged later and consistently. So there are ways to do that that are fairly well explored. So, and one of them is operational transformation, which is probably what we will be trying today. So to do that, I will want to add, and this is fun, this repo doesn't actually have any dependencies because it's only using built-in Erlang stuff, but now we will add one. And if you're watching, feel free to say hi. I'm always happy to know that people are watching and who's watching, because that's interesting to me. Get introduced. So I'm going to try to use the text delta module. So let's see, latest should be 1.2, no, 1.4. Okay. So text delta, squiggly 1.4. No. like that. Switched to use tmux a lot recently, and having i3, tmux, and vim all support different ways of splitting and sort of multiplexing your terminals. It gets to be a bit hard to navigate sometimes, but they all serve different purposes, so I end up running them all. So what I would like to do now is to use text delta. So let's bring up the text delta docs for some reference, actually. There's docs. And hey, Andres. Oh, yeah, I haven't renamed the stream. I should do that. Operational transformation. There we go. Rename the stream. You're now in an entirely different stream than you were a moment ago. But back to the mission at hand, text delta. So I was super confused, like, are there any docs here? Because there's no guides or pages. But if you go to the main module, it has perfectly fine documentation. Or perfectly fine, we'll see, I guess. But yeah. So, looking at this, so we can now have text delta installed, so we can use it. When we're starting this editor, I would like 2 editors, I think. Let's see if I regret this at all. But there's no real difference in doing 2 editors in the same application and doing 2 editors across the network for at a theoretical level. That's the same. So that should be a decent way of just trialing this. So I want an editor A and I want an editor B. And then I want the editor B to be here. And instead of sort of building a delta from scratch, conceptually, I want to do text delta.new. So that should give me an empty delta to work with. Let's see, do I use the editor? So when handling, command click button. Yeah, okay, so it's getting the text there. That doesn't super matter. Could we can comment that one out. Anything else that, whoa, that's using the editor? No, cool. So both of these editors should produce these types of events. So before we start trying to operationally transform anything, let's try whether that's true. Okay, something's not working. 58, undefined definition, text. Oh, fair. Okay, so I'm only seeing one editor, and I think it could be because they're in the same position, just on top of each other or something. Yeah. I'm guessing this is X and Y, so let's just move this like 128 pixels out. 2 editors. Foo. So I can get events there and I can get events there. Slightly relevant thing. Can I distinguish which editor they are from? I think I should be. Yeah, the ref should tell me. So if I inspect ref, so far we're not doing anything collaborative. We're just checking if things work and trying to hook things up to each other. Okay, so we're getting different refs. And I believe that's everything we need to be able to talk to the specific instances if need be. So actually, let's go to EX style text control. Line. There. Shut that down. So we can add text, not what I want to do. What I would want to do is set the entire text of the document. So I have a way of updating. Place the contents of the document with the argument text. Cool. So actually, let's try that. Whenever we get one of these change events, let's just get the text and then let's get the text and then set it on the other one. So I don't actually know if I can. Well, editor B, and that should be a ref. So let's see. We do ref, and then we do state.editor A and state.editor B. Oh yeah, Andreas, good question. I'm planning to set up some operational transformation between two text fields, essentially, in a native app. So now, if I type in this, oh dear, that was a lot. So that was a lot of noise. The first thing I get is the ref. Hold on. There are multiple events at the same time, so it's better to look at it in here. Gives me less noise. Less line noise, please. Okay. So WXREF 4300, WXREF 430, or that's 43, that's 45. So yes, I will be able to determine if it's A or B. Cool. So then we can do we can get the other editor and that can be if ref equals state.editor A do state editor. Yeah, so that this would be the talk to editor project if you've listened to me rant about it, which you have if you're Andreas. So no, that's so this should get me the other editor because I want to be able to pull text from. So let's say I want to pull the text from the editor referenced by ref, and I want to style text control set text other editor and probably text, right? Text. Cool, let's try that. So this would be the very naive way of doing know what's happening there? Infinite loop. So it's triggering another insert event because because they're sending to each other. I could fix that probably, but this would still mean that whatever I write in one field would overwrite the other field, which isn't particularly useful. I will have to solve that issue though, where if I set text, it triggers the modified. That's annoying. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Okay, but not yet, not yet. So what we can do is actually, how do we solve that best? I'm probably gonna have to solve that to do anything useful with the text delta stuff. So let's actually have a think on that. So I would need to update the state to indicate that so I would do map put state last text, and I would say for the other editor, I literally just threw this text in there, and I would do this. Oh, I don't actually do anything here, so that's fine. Just need to change that to line up, and this one. And I do no reply to state there. Cool. So now I will be saving what the last text I did was, and if I'm getting an insert event where that's text, I'm overloading that term. New text. Okay. So if ref equals state dot, let's just get last push, last text, last ref, let's call it that, and last text equals state dot map get state. It could be nil because, yeah. Let me know if you have specific questions. I'm doing a lot of stuff fairly quickly here, so I recognize that it might not all be easy to follow. We're mostly doing preparatory things still for what I really want to do. If this is the case, don't do all of this. Then we just do nothing state. Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember my Vim commands. There, I indented multiple lines. I'm great. Okay, so I think this should provide a short circuit for stopping the infinite loop. So let's try it. Yeah. So now we can actually see some of the downside of. All right. Haven't set up deletes, but you could set them up to do exactly the same thing. But with slight differences. I have so little code on the page at the same time right now. It's hard to see. All right. Well, I'll do a little bit of. Well, I thought I was going to do a little bit of editing of that that terminal, but apparently I'm not. Can I hit the edge of it? No? Okay. No right clicking for me. Never mind. Thank you, terminal. Okay. But this essentially takes the text from one and shoves it into the other. And that's not a very reliable way of doing collaborative editing, especially when not when you're editing entirely separate things, or on separate things, I would say. So actually, we can probably simulate some of the issue with that. Let's make it so the delete operation also does all this stuff. Instead of that one, it's delete. Start it up again. Yeah, it's throwing my caret back to the beginning of the string whenever I'm doing set text, I think. But now let's introduce latency, because I think that's required for us to really experience what this all can be like. Actually, this might not get that issue. Let me think. Because this is sending an event anytime an edit is made. But it is single threaded in the sense that this particular gen server will only process one message at a time. But messages could end up happening at weird times. Okay, so let's timer.sleep. Give me 500 milliseconds to screw things up. So let's say our internet hiccups for half a second between. Are they converging? Yeah, I think they're actually recovering pretty well. So, but it's still, actually it's still processing. I have no idea if it did the right thing. Actually, let's break this down and let's do lorem ipsum dollar. Oh dear. Yeah, so one thing is now when I'm trying to edit this, it keeps overriding what I'm doing, which is that's one issue of this type of setup. So set text is probably not the best way to integrate the text. Yeah, Andreas, I'm very relatable. I have no idea if it did the thing, if it did the right thing. That's very, very true. So I can probably get unset cursor positions so I can sort of retain that. Toggle caret sticky. I want to toggle the caret sticky. Switch between sticky and non-sticky, meant to be bound to a key. Okay, that's not what I want. Caret. Okay, so there's a lot of API to this editor, a lot of it. So we have the option to, for example, add text at the current position or insert text at a position. And I guess this is part of what we could do to interpret deltas and just sort of merge them. I hope we don't have to, because that might be a little bit. Choose caret. Set the last x chosen value to be the caret x position. Choose caret. As a very particular word, choose caret x. Set the last x chosen value to be the caret x position. I have no idea if that's actually what I would want to do to move the cursor, essentially. Get current position. Returns the position of the caret. That's, yeah, I tend to have that information, but it's good to have. And then, so then the question is set caret foreground, set caret width, set. There's no set current position, but I wouldn't call it set current position if I was writing this API. So set, is there set position? Set selection? So point from position. No. So can I move position? Maybe. It's figuring out the words. Go to pose. There we go. So I can get current position and I can go to pos. Perfect. Not perfect API naming, but very good to be able to do. So let's actually, I would say typically this pos I have here would be the cursor position, but I'm not sure it's necessarily true. Last pos. So let's do, how do you call it? WX style text control. Dot get current position. Was that it? Get current pos. So I guess they were consistent about that naming. Get current pos ref. We can do other last pos because we're bound to be overwriting the other editor's position at this point in time. This is actually not a bad API. I have a hunch that it might be less convenient actually in the original C++. There's a lot to it sometimes, but it does work. Okay, so when we have set the text of the other editor, let's just see if we can sort of restore where we were. So go to pos other editor, other last pos was the and yes, I should be breaking some of this up into a different function at some point. Oh, right. I can resize that. That's really useful. Still getting used to my new tmux life. Okay. So let's see if this sort of helps. Whoa, crash. That's fun. Function not exported. Go to pos. Was that not? Yeah. We made it crash. So it's saying that go to pos is not an exported function. Oh, it's a small t in it. Go to pos. So now we're using go tos, eh? Not quite. So now with all this delay, a bunch of what I type just seems to have been eaten, which is more what I would expect from this type of naive collaborative use. So this is not how we're going to be doing. doing these operations. So for now, we have this if ref last ref thing. I'm going to need to re-implement that at some point. Don't want to do it right now. I don't want to deal with it right now. So the thing is, we just want this to produce an operation. So this one should produce insert. And yeah, some of this noise up here, that's binary pattern matching to actually figure out from... So Scintilla, which this editor window is called, or is based off of, has some good docs. I'm not used to working with the kind of docs they have, though. That was a bit confusing to me, but I got it working. So let's say that we want to we should have a let's use text delta in its most naive. We don't sort of bother with anything else. So to indicate all this stuff, so if position is anything else than 0, we will need to use a retain operation. So retain says essentially keep this many characters. We did not change this set of characters. So let's see here. Here's the API. We have delete, insert. So delete takes a delta and a length. Insert takes a delta, an element, and any attrs. We're not going to deal with attrs, so that's for editing HTML and similar meta stuff. So L is just the text that we're adding in, which implicitly contains a length. And then we back up, go here. Okay, so, and then we have a retain, which takes a delta and a length. We can ignore attrs. So, case op for insert, we do text delta. So let's do, we expect this to produce a new delta. Text delta dot insert state delta and text. So text is the incoming text during the insert event. On a delete, oh right, there was first we had to do this part here, which is delta equals case pos. Yeah, case pos. All right, if pos is more than 0, do else. So we just use the delta if pos is more than 0, but if pos is or if pos is 0. But if pos is more than 0, then we need to do text delta dot retain pos state dot delta. So now we have this delta here. Now we can do text delta insert, and that should be it. Delta delete delta and len count. I don't remember. The length. Very nice. So the number of characters removed. And if it's nothing, we just return the delta. And then, so now we can update our state. Say our delta is now our new delta. And we can inspect our delta as it grows. Now we are not sort of expecting this to type across the things. Crash. Sweet. What can it be? Case clause. Nothing. Oh, okay, I did. There's a case clause I didn't fix, so that's what's acting up. Up here. So I had a case that did not match at all, and that can crash. That couldn't match. Oh, nice. I can add tabs. So now we have a delta growing here. That's interesting. So we can compose deltas. Let's see what that does. It doesn't actually say what it does, but I believe it will essentially compress deltas so that they work together. They're smaller. So calculate the length of a given delta. Lines. I wonder if that's going to get me the lines of text. Let's see. I wouldn't say the documentation for this library is perfect, but I can't complain because I did not want to write this myself. So that's the delta, and we want to do text delta dot lines. And then IO.inspect, I don't know, lines. Start it back up. A, B. Oh, what happened there? I pressed enter and something broke. Cannot get lines from document. Bad document. So what happened when I pressed return? Not much, I think. So we got an STC modified. It's a new line. I don't know what makes a good or bad doc, Andreas. I really don't. Cannot get lines from document. Bad document. Line 75. So what does this do? Okay, so it delegates to the document module. And then it goes here. And what does it look for to determine a valid document? Text delta length. Document equals text delta length. Document. Insert. Right. So they don't consider it a document if it, I think it doesn't, it's not considered a document if it contains, deletes, or retains, because it's supposed to be, so apply. Would apply be what I'm expecting? So wait, there's this. So the text delta API is based on the original JavaScript version, which figure, no, that's not what I wanted. There. So yeah, so they compose before they do this, or they would compose before they do this. So let's do text delta dot compose. Let's see that that's not a bangable. No. What are we composing though? Can we compose a single one? So compose this delta and delta dot new. I'm guessing that will lead to something, or should we just apply? So apply state delta. These would really have benefited from a little bit of documentation. That would have helped me at least. Because this one, all right, it creates a new delta. Oh, so I probably, when I'm doing this, that should be a new delta. So text delta dot new. Text delta dot new. So let's call this a change. That's an empty change, and I hope that works. So our base delta, and then we can compose that with our new change, and that give us composed. And I'm not sure that would do all that much, but then I want to try the apply state to delta. Not sure what that means. Let's take a look at what that means. That's in application. Actually, I don't want to lose track of the docs. I need those for my work. What does apply mean in this? Okay. Applies given delta to particular text state resulting in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, a text state is a set of text delta operation insert operations. So let's see, apply. Maybe we should use apply here then. Because we want. Oh, sorry, my keyboard screwed up. Let's try apply. Because if we always keep a delta that is one of those state deltas, we should be fine to do lines on it and stuff. Let's try all this. Foo. Bar. Explosions. I tried to delete something. So what happened there? Connect lines from document to bad document. Yeah, I gathered that much. So we had some inserts. Let's look at the history of what was happening here. So we had nothing at the start. Insert F. That turns into an insert F. So I think this is weird. Let's look at the first one here. So insert an F. We have an insert F as the change delta. When it's applied, that's insert F. Hold on, I just gotta check something. Yeah, oh right, I don't assign the new delta, so this would not stay around. I could do that, probably. Okay, let's see how that one does. So foo, bar, delete. And now we can see the lines. Don't know what this lines thing actually is about, because it doesn't look very different from applied. Do they not have a sort of utility function for just turning this into text? Seems like there should be one. Diff. What's that? Don't know what they do. So document function. Lines. That's the iterator. Operation. Compact. Compare. Trimble. Slice. Transformation. Can I... Atom representing transformation priority. Which delta came first? No, thank you. That's not what I'm looking for. So, I do want to just turn all of this into text at some point. At some point. And it's like, it's not that hard. I just go through the document and add all the characters, right? But still, I thought there might be a useful function for that. So there is a difference between lines and oh, hold on. I think I know what that might be. So if I hit the new line here, hit the new line here a few times, does that matter? No? I feel like there's something I'm missing here. So it wasn't that kind of lines. All right. But I don't see any reason why this should stop us from turning these into text. If we look at the data structure, we should just have that after applied. So then we can just go through the ops. We know that everything will be an insert, and then we can just take the value of insert, shove it into a string. Yep. Text delta ops. So let's turn it into text. New text. So delta.ops is what we want to iterate on. Enum dot map so we have some characters and we return those, and then I think we can do enum.into. I think that actually might work. Let's try it. Pipe io.inspect. Explosions. Sweet. Shouldn't be too easy. Reason for termination function clause. Collectible bit string continue. Cont F. Okay. It's probably unnecessary. So enum that join should turn them into a string. It's probably more straightforward. Forgot to do the outputs. Now I don't know what's going on. Inverse. So how do we do? Enum.reverse. I think I could actually probably do all of that with a single for loop or a for comprehension. But I honestly find them more confusing than they're worth. So test my thing. Cool. So now we can type into different places and it will do cool stuff. I'm not sure it's doing what it should with these right now. Not sure it's composing correctly. Let's look here. Let's say I delete thing. Right now that removes stuff at the end. Well, actually these don't really sync themselves up. So I would need to keep a delta for each editor. And then whenever I want to sync them up, that's when I would compose them, I think. So let's do delta A, delta B. So current delta, other delta, so the current delta here would be state of delta A, and the other delta would be state of delta B, and here the reverse, state of delta B, state delta A. There's probably cooler ways to do that, but that should do for now. If you have questions in this little hellscape of mine, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so now we have an operation and we want to apply that to the current delta and turn that into a change. Oh dear, so we did not do the retain either correctly. So actually, what do we want to do here? I think, so if I write hello in one and the other writes goodbye, well, the position of the absolute first thing always ends up being sort of a race, but I don't really want to keep the only the separate deltas. I do want a central one. Let's call that the document. And that would be text delta.new as well, but empty. And then it should only contain inserts afterwards. So when we do this, we're building up a change on the current delta. So let's keep calling this a change. This current delta. So they're saying if you compose, that should turn into a document, because this example has 3 inserts for Gandalf the Grey. So that's actually their base document, I guess. Then they're having a change set, which is a retain and an insert, or even and some deletes and an insert, which our changes can be either a retain and an insert and a retain or plus delete currently. And they are composing that. And that leads them to have a new document. So no retains or deletes. That probably means that at this point, we're always dealing with a new delta. Unless we sort of want to build up a delta over a few different of these events, then we could keep building on the same one. But let's do that on the change. This would just be text delta. And yeah, okay, so I have this key called delta, which doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. So let's do document. All right. So rather than applying in all of this happy stuff, let's take state.document. Let's produce a new document. So we should be able to take that and then compose. With the change. So let's doc after, let's remove this because that made no sense to me. And then if we do this, that should give us the new text. We do this. And so now it's starting to get time to write these texts to, so So if no state equals, no, hold on. We want to set last text, new text. Last editor, ref. Because what I want to do now is wx style text control. Huh. I have apparently been disconnected from my own chat. That's not great. If I pop it out, will it reconnect? So, is the stream working okay for everyone still? Apparently, Google logged me out in the middle of the stream. So that's... There. Did we have a bit of a hiccup on the stream there, or was everything fine? Because I was logged out of the chat for some reason. Okay. I think my login session just expired. Stupid thing. So I think we have the other editor ref, and we can set that new text. And then go to pause other editor, other last pause, so we don't, ideally don't disrupt their cursor. This should mean that when I'm typing and building up that, I shouldn't be disrupting anything. So hold on. And then we need if state.last text so this one's weird. We could calculate all of this and then go, oh yeah, the last text the same as the new text. No, hold on. Should be fine to do up here. Because if state.last text equals text and ref and state the last, was that last ref or what did I call it? Last editor. So then there's no reply in state. So we do nothing in that case. And for all of this, and pull this in. I need to head out soon, so let's see if this works. I have no idea if we're there yet. I don't plan too hard. Crash, but instant restart. Bad key last text. Right, that doesn't always exist because I didn't set it in the initial state. So let's do last text and last editor here. The error said bad key, and I was like, no, I don't think that's a particularly gnarly key press, but okay. That was not what it wanted. Module could not be loaded. Oh. WX style text control. That's not what it's named. It's styled text control. Another explosion. Function clause, native, handle event, delete. 115. So it is getting some stuff that's not actually inserts, seems. So if I apply, that might take care of that. Wish there was a little bit more clarity on these things, but text.apply not exported. Oh, compose? What's compose giving me here? Not what I expected, I don't think. So last time we ran compose, and that should have logged. Bit unclear on what's happening there. Let's go back to just having so when I hit F, what happened there? Look before. Uncomposed. Bunch of warnings, not very relevant. Text delta apply 1 is undefined or private. Did you mean one of apply 2? Oh, state and delta. So this is the thing. So our document is supposed to be a text state, so we should be able to do apply here. It's my feeling. Not entirely sure, as I haven't been during this whole stream. Not entirely sure about much. Still explosions. Sweet. So what's producing an okay delta-ups? Bad arg. Yeah, I get that. So that should give me that, apparently. This is tiring. Error length mismatch. So I literally just pressed the F key and that triggered a lot of stuff. Whoa, yeah, this looks like a infinite-ish loop, right? Because I hit the F key, it inserts, produces text X, F, doc after. Oh, whoa. But it shouldn't produce an okay document anymore. So let's see. Length mismatch. Weird. I find this super weird. When does the doc actually become an okay tuple? How early does that happen? After. Don't know how that doesn't change with this. Strange. Well, that's all the time I have to dig into this today. I hope I'll resume this, or at least do a blog post trying to get it finished and working. So, beating your head up against the wall. I did not press it multiple times, Andreas. It was just crazy town. But this has been me beating my head against the wall, mostly. But also, hopefully, hopefully you got the gist of what we're trying to do. Maybe not. Read up on text deltas. Read up on operational transformation. It's a really cool technique. I did not get it working, but maybe I will. All right. Have a good one, everyone. And if you want more of what I do, check out underu.io. Links are around on the channel. So take care. Bye.